Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's been a tough 2 days. Kind of fill you in a minute. It's just waiting for things. And I want to say thank you to some people that were extremely nice to me over the last day. It's really helped me get through. Hi, Debbie. Thank you for the happy birthday wish. Thank you from everybody who gave me happy birthday wishes. For those of you who don't know, today is my 60th birthday. So I'll go through my brief routine that I usually do when I start for people that don't know, and then I'll get into some stuff today. I'm transgender, obviously. There's a few things that I believe that most transgender people do not. I do not believe that transgender women belong in women's sports. I do not believe that transgender women belong in the women's bathroom unless they've been completely done over. I do not believe in kids transgender or trans being allowed to do whatever. My brain's a little off today. Until they're 18 years old, you should leave the kids alone. I think schools should never be allowed to keep secrets from parents about their kids in any way whatsoever. So that kind of touches it, I think, kind of a little bit here and there. So I'll get into what was going on. And Chris is not going to be with me tonight. It'll just be me, so I'll be reading them and kind of carrying on. So just to give you a rundown of what happened, my mother came into town and they were here to visit. And before I went over there, my ex-wife, my first daughter's mom, sent my 81-year-old mother a message that said, "Listen, lady, get your shit together with all your he, him, thee, they crap going on in your family." This is to my 81-year-old mother, to a woman that hasn't been in my family for years. "That might be flying in your house, but it won't fly in mine." That's what she said, and I lost it. I went off on my daughter. I went off on my ex-wife. I went off on anybody who had an ear about respect. You don't do that to an 81-year-old woman for any reason whatsoever. And so things got ugly. Instead of helping along a relationship with my daughter, I kind of pushed us further apart. I was really, really mad. I don't know. Part of it's because I want my grandson to know what's going on with me. She doesn't want to. I don't want the schools teaching him what transgender means. I want to teach him what transgender means. And we're just at an odds, and she don't want anything to do with me anymore now. So it's been a really screwed up day. Oh, and to top it all off, as you might have seen my things, my brother calls me before all that and tries to teach me how about what's going on with me. And so I challenged him to a debate on this forum right here, and he chickened out. He wouldn't do it because I told him that if he won, I would let you guys be the deciding factor. You could judge. If he won, I would detransition. And if I won, that he would accept me for who I was. But he was too chicken to come on. So there you go. That's kind of what's been going on. So it's been a really rough couple of days. Not the greatest birthday, but that's okay because I had a lot of people telling me that they, sending me a lot of love from this channel. Oh, and I also went for my pre-surgery checkup today, and to make sure my heart and everything was healthy enough to go through surgery. And apparently it is. So far, everything's good. Haven't got the blood test back, but it looks like everything is going to be okay. We should go forward. My surgery date is coming up very quickly. It's only less than 3 weeks away. So there you go. But with that said, I want to say once again, thank you for the people that wished me a happy birthday. You saved the day, man. You really did. You saved the day for me. And I'll start taking questions. Okay, so I'll start with, it's okay, Debbie. It's been terrible. I appreciate your sentiments, and thank you, Amber, for loving the earrings. There's a couple of people, I don't want to miss it, and cognitive discontent. You've been very, very supportive over the last few days with your emails and your wishes, and thank you very much. And more people. I mean, I know I'm missing people that have said nice things and been there to help me along with this, because it's really hard for me. This is not fun for me. Being transgender is fucking hard. I mean, my dad asked me, he goes, "What are you going to do for work? Who's going to hire you? Nobody's going to hire you." It's like, wow. My mom's just like, I just don't even want to hear about it. It was really, really heartbreaking. So anyway, here we go. Aren't you the sex offender registry? No, I'm not. The warrior. I've never offended anybody sexually or whatsoever, and that's a ridiculous statement to make. So for that, oh well, I'll let Debbie deal with you. um, let's see here we got here. Dennis Cole. You had it correct. Your mom is heartbroken. Yes, my mom is heartbroken. Yes, she is. And I'm heartbroken that she's heartbroken. But all in all, I just don't understand why this is so hard for people to get their head around. I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like it's not that big of a deal. But it seems to be. I mean, this is like people really, really, really disapprove of what I'm doing here, and I don't understand why. I just want good. Like my daughter, she will not let me see my grandson because of fear of I don't even know what. I don't know what she's afraid of, but she's afraid of something, and it's like he's learning in school, and the way they teach him in California in schools, I don't want him learning that way because they're like, sometimes they're more into talking kids in that they are transgender when they're not, and that's not. I don't want that for my kids. I don't want that for my grandkids. That's bullshit. I want to teach them what the proper thing is about transgender. Anyway, and Debbie's on it. You go, Debbie. Thank you. Let's see here. It says fuck you, fuck foo. Excuse me, yuck foo. No mileage. You won't surprise me. Suppress me. Suppress me. I don't know what that means. Dennis, being gay is one thing, but I don't get trans. Will you tell me why you think you're a girl? And that's from Dennis Cole. Says being trans is one thing. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand trans. Why do I want to be a girl? Okay, for me, just my situation, and people that have been here before have heard this before, probably ad nauseum. When I was a baby in my mom's stomach in 1963, she took birth control pills throughout her pregnancy. That's estrogen, straight estrogen, high doses of estrogen back in the 60s. And so every day, while my brain was developing in the womb, I was getting estrogen injections. Therefore, my brain got messed up. And I was born thinking that I was a girl when I was a boy, and I hid it for 50-something years, and I just came out roughly 4 years ago. And here I am now, I'm 60 years old, and I'm starting surgeries and stuff like that. So I've always thought I was a girl. I was just afraid to say so. Even my mom asked me, why didn't you come out earlier? Why did you wait so long? And I said, Mom, would you have accepted me in the 70s or the 80s? I'm like, no, I didn't even know what it was called back then. So that's why I think I'm a girl. I know I'm not delusional. I don't think I'm female. I know I can't reproduce, but I feel like I'm a girl. I heard somebody say tomboy. A reference. I feel like I'm a tomboy. Is that better? Hi, Alma. How are you doing, Alma? It's nice to hear from you. I'm glad you could make it. That's really great. Yeah, I have some beautiful friends on here. Some people that, when I was in the office today, the doctor asked me if I had any, support from anybody, and I said, actually, my biggest support comes from people online that I've recently met that are just wonderful people that are just giving me so much encouragement. I mean, I've been crying for 2 days, people. I mean, it's just been, being transgender is so hard. It is so hard. But I'm sure you want to hear that. And I want to beat certain things to death because it seems to be a touching point for other people. And if you have questions about how I feel about public restrooms, how I feel about girl or trans in locker rooms, or how I feel about kids transitioning, please feel free to ask. I'm not going to go over the thing. If you ask, I'll answer. Okay. Oh, Elizabeth, thank you very much. It's frustrating. It's so frustrating. I turn to my family for support and I get ousted. I just get, I mean, like I asked them, I said, what is conditional love? What is unconditional love? I said, there's nothing you two could do that would possibly ever make me turn my back on you guys. I just don't understand it. But it's too hard for them. It's too hard for them to understand it. They're from a different era. So I'm doing my best to deal with it. My daughter's another story. I do have an older daughter who is extremely supportive and is completely 100% on my side. And my younger daughter is just, in my opinion, being a little bitch and just not even trying to give this thing a go, just dead set. And my brother, the minister, has been in her ear as well, telling her that I'm an abomination or whatever. It's just a bunch of shit. So anybody out there that thinks being transgender is easy or that this is like fun, let me tell you, this is freaking not fun. Thank you, Elizabeth. It's going to be okay. I know it is. I appreciate that. Debbie says, oh, Brooke, I wish I lived closer so I could give you a big hug. I would take that big hug right now. I really would. It's been sad, and yeah, it's just been very hard. I was in the doctor's office crying my eyes out. And the doctor's like, it's okay, you can cry on your birthday. I'm like, no, it's just, I'm so upset. It's supposed to be the best, this is supposed to be like one of the greatest times of my life. I get the surgery that confirms who I feel that I am inside, finally. And it seems to be this contention of disconnect to my family. Okay. Somebody says, Serena Iribi, it's not fun for your kids either, but you don't seem to care that much. You miss okay, who said that? Shatira? Yes, I do care. I care deeply. If I didn't care, I wouldn't have been crying all weekend because I'm losing her. And I'm losing the ability to see my grandkids. Yes, I care. Yes, it affects me deeper than you could possibly ever imagine. It's killing me. It's killing me that my daughter doesn't want to be a part of my life because of this. So please, don't say I don't care, because I do care what I'm doing to them. And I was having a lot of thought. I'm thinking, is this what I'm doing, or is there just their inability to accept change? I'm not asking anybody to do anything except for just let me be happy. They don't have to change anything. It's I told my parents, I said, you know what this is about, you guys? This is about embarrassment. You guys are embarrassed. My daughter's embarrassed. You guys feel humiliated that you have a family member that's trans, and it's embarrassing to you. And that's what this is mainly about. Because if it wasn't embarrassing to you, you wouldn't care. So, no, Elizabeth, it's not easy for me either. Not enough to stop. No, I don't. No, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop because for the first time in 60 years, I'm happy. I mean, I'm fucking happy. And if it, what has transpired since I came out was I quit smoking, I quit doing drugs, I quit drinking, I quit every bad habit that I had. I quit wanting to die. I quit attempting to make people, take me out. I have a will to live now that I didn't have before, a self-destruction mode that I was in. If I hadn't came out when I did, I would not be here sitting here talking to you. So it's changed my life, and the worst part is my family didn't come along with me. Thank you, Athena. I'm sorry that I have to go through this. I'm sorry that my kids have to go through this. Like I said, if anybody out there is on the fence and they think that this is a fun ride, or anybody out there that just doesn't like trans people think that this is some kind of a joyride, it's not a joyride. Believe me, it's fucking hard. It's hard. Just being a girl is hard. You guys go through a lot of shit, you know. And I don't have any misconceptions. I am not female, okay? I cannot reproduce. Get that through your head. I'm not saying that I am the same as a natural born woman. I don't like the word cis woman. It sounds like a pimple. You know, women are not cis. Women are natural born female. I'm not, okay? I'm transgender female. I'm transgender woman, not female. There's a difference to me. I don't know about anybody else, but there's a difference to me, and I'm not here to cram it down your throat. Believe me. You see me in public, you want to call me sir, I'm not going to say nothing. If that's what you want, do it. I'm cool. Doesn't matter. You shouldn't have to be told that you must refer to me a certain way. You can refer to me any way you want. That's not what I'm about. Okay, I'm so sorry your family. Millie says, I'm so sorry your family is not supportive of you. You know what family is, but you make it. I know. And I posted something earlier that I had seen online where it says, you know, walk away from people that don't care about you. It's so hard. I cannot walk away from my family, although they're finding it pretty easy to walk away from me. And I was hoping that they would be there to celebrate with me. I thought that this would be like we could celebrate these milestones together and that everybody would be happy. And I would guess I was naive. I guess I was really naive. Let's see. What are your opinions on non-binary people? Um, I don't really keep up with certain things, and I don't know what you mean by non-binary people. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry, I'm ignorant about certain things. I really don't follow the narrative. I just know who I am. That's all I know. I don't know about anybody else. Can I ask you what make you feel like a girl? I'm sorry to ask. Oh, don't be sorry to ask. It's something internally in my brain that makes me feel like a girl from the estrogen pumped into me as a fetus. It just, my brain says I'm supposed to be a woman, and my body says I was a boy. And it's been a battle for 50 something years. And finally, my happiness came out. I did not know how happy I would be until I started expressing myself this way. And then it was like the change was so instant and so I mean, just the personality change was night and day. There was a horrible person before, and I have love in my heart and care in my heart, even though I don't do everything right. But that's what makes me feel like a tomboy. I like tomboy. I like that word. I'm actually really proud that you don't face people to call you by what you want. I hope you're the best for you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And the real white one said that. No, I don't like the way that people are being force-fed transgender. I think that's part of the reason that people resent me so much is because it's being forced down their throats. And that's not right. Lay off, man. Goddamn, lay off the children. Stop forcing children to change. They're literally trying to convince children in grammar school here in my state of California that they're transgender. I heard they take this little chart out and they try to like influence them to think that way, and that's just wrong. This is why I want to teach my own grandson what transgender is. I don't want him learning it in school because they're going to confuse him. I hate this. I want to seriously start to try to get a law together that bans kids from transitioning until they're after 18. I want to try to find a way to put that law in the books and have it voted on, at least here in California, to where people with common sense can know to leave the fucking kids alone. Just leave them alone. I know that young transgender people are going to they really don't like when I say this, but I'm sorry. I think you should wait. It took me a long time to come to grips with this. And if you're 7 or 10 years old, you have no clue. You don't even know what kind of freaking cereal you want in the morning, let alone what your gender is. You need to wait. Okay, let's see. Camp Crystal says, I'm so glad you don't refer to us as cis females. No, I think it's kind of insulting to me. It sounds insulting. I don't even know what cis stands for. I'm sure it's not an insulting thing, but it sounds insulting to me. I think cyst, like a pus-filled sack or something. You know, it's, I don't know. I don't know. This is how I feel. Timo, I hope it get better for you. Thanks you. It will. It will. Camp Crystal, thank you. Camp Crystal says, you're welcome. Jillian says, I disagree with the concept of transgender, but you are the most well-rounded person. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's just common sense. All I say is common sense. It doesn't mean anything. Oh, and by the way, if you guys could, if you're like repeat, I have like 6,000 people that come back and watch these, over. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It helps me because I want to prove my dad wrong. I want to make a little bit of money off of this and show them that I can make some money elsewhere. I mean, that's not why I started this, but when he said that to me, I was insulted. Like, who's going to hire you? Like, why wouldn't they hire me? I have brains, I have talent. Because it's just like, wow, that's so hurtful to hear that, you know. Get this, too. My dad gave me a pistol and for protecting myself, because of where I live and from animals as well as bad humans. He took it back. He took it back. I don't know why exactly he did, but he did. He took my protection away. Now I'm going to have to go purchase one. But it's just, this is what I was dealing with this whole weekend. I was, they were coming at me so hard in so many ways. I didn't know what was going on. Okay, Gillian asks, what is a woman? To me, a woman is somebody who portrays and presents themselves as a lady, as a girl, in my case, a tomboyish. A female is somebody who could reproduce. A female is blessed to be born female at birth. I wasn't blessed to be born female at birth, except my brain. My body was a boy's, and I loathed it. Gender dysphoria is when you look in the mirror and you can't stand what you see, and I could not stand what I've seen for 50-something years. Now when I look in the mirror, I feel pretty. I feel okay. Eric says I'm a weirdo. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. I feel like a weirdo sometimes. What makes me want to be a woman? Besides the fact that it was something that was, God, I know I need to keep saying certain things over and over again because there's new people in the room all the time. It was put into my system as a fetus, estrogen. So my brain developed. It's like, I'll break it down really fast. Timo says, I will pray for you. The people will stop judging you for how you are. And I feel it is not fair to you and anybody else. I understand most people disagree with what you are doing or what you feel. Yeah, I did not know. I knew that there was going to be pushback. I did not know the level of absolute hate there is for transgender women. I mean, just hate. I don't think the level of transgender men is as high, but for some reason, this society just does not accept us. We are a cancer to them, and they fight us. I mean, my family and I were freaking so close. My daughter and I were like best buddies. We laughed and talked on the phone all the time, and now we are basically strangers. She doesn't, she doesn't want to even try to understand. This is a lot to do with her mom and my brother in her ear, but still, she can make her own decisions. She's 30-something years old, and it breaks my heart that my grandson sent me a message, and it said, I can't wait to see, I'm excited to see you. And I was so excited to see him too, but it didn't happen. You wouldn't be, why wouldn't you be judged? Isn't that the point? I don't understand. What do you mean? Isn't that the point? Why wouldn't I be judged? Isn't that the point? Am I supposed to be judged? I thought God did that. Message. Just reading a message. Constantly having to explain people your identity must be tiring. Yeah, it is, but that's why I'm here, because I'm here to try to bridge a gap. This is a good thing. This channel's a good thing because it's showing people that not all trans people are like you see on the media. And I have some good people that I've met here that come back. Debbie, who's she's here, and it's just, oh my gosh, there's so many people that I don't know why they wish me such nice things when they only know me through this, and I'm humbled by the messages that I've received and stuff. I'm humbled. And I wanted to read you one of the first ones. I was going to stop doing this after the first show, And this person wrote this to me. And I had it printed because I'm going to put it in a frame along with some other responses that I got. And I've been wanting to read this to you, so I'm going to read it. So bear with me. It says, I watched some of the live stream. I kept waiting for you to say something batshit crazy, but it never happened. You seem to have a good head on your shoulders and a good heartbeat. What I was saying about nobody really cared one way or the other until I became political is my personal experience with trans people. Until it became political, is my experience with trans people. I never formed an opinion of any kind until I was constantly shoved in my face and was being told that I had to care one way or the other. Then, of course, kids came into the conversation. I got very salty about the whole thing. My wife's friends started dressing her 4-year-old son up like a girl and parade him around. A 4-year-old started dressing a 4-year-old boy as a girl and parade him around. And that's the moment I lost my shit. To top it off, my daughter's friend came over to the house and sat down in my living room and told my wife and I that she had decided that she is a boy, which wasn't an issue, until she broke out with a long laundry list of demands and behaviors. She exerted on us, so it demanded of them anyway. Needless to say, I tossed her out of my house and told her to never come back. Of course, she couldn't wrap her head around why I tossed her out. She says, God didn't grace me with eloquence, so believe me when I say this is a compliment. Thank you for bringing me back down to the I don't care either way level. Have yourself a good day, miss. This is somebody who came on my show and they were full of not happiness with me. And because he listened to the conversations that were going on here, it changed his opinion back down to I don't care. And if everybody just didn't care, then nobody'd say anything mean to me. So that kept me to where I did my second show. And then people like Alma and Debbie and many others are the reason that I'm still doing it today. Because, like I said, I haven't made any money off this. I just want to prove my dad wrong. That's kind of why I want to make some money out of it, just to prove him wrong that I can make money. And even though I work on a ranch, I have a job. I didn't understand his point. I'm working now, but whatever. Okay, he can do what he wants. You don't see my Adam's apple. I don't have an Adam's apple, said Lucifer. Yep, boom, Debbie gotcha. If you all don't do it, it wouldn't be a thing. If you all didn't do it, it wouldn't be a thing. If we all didn't do what? I mean, Millie says, love you, Brooke, you are sweet. Thank you, Millie. That keeps me going every day. That little bit. Bro thinks he's a woman when he obviously doesn't sound like or look like one. I know I don't sound like a woman. I know I have a deep voice, and I apologize for that. I think it's better that I come in my natural voice than I try to pretend to have a female voice. I can have a surgery to have that fixed. They'll shave my vocal cords, and I'm considering it. So I'm sorry that you don't like my appearance. Today is not my best day the way I look. It's been a hard 2 days, and it's making me look a little bit haggard. So I apologize. But I did my best today. Jason said, this is the problem in this country. I don't know what you're saying. What is the problem? Were you born a woman? No, I was not born a woman. John says, don't apologize. Thank you. I just feel that I feel off today. It's been so emotionally draining. Chris and we had a falling out over this. It's just been, because when we were at the table and I was trying to explain to my mom, Chris kept bumping me in the arm, telling me, stop. And I took that as her saying to me, like, shut up, don't speak your piece. And I didn't like that. So we got in an argument over that. It's like I just wanted to speak my piece. That's all. And I guess I shouldn't have. I don't know. I wasn't rude with them or anything. I was just trying to tell them, how I feel and what I'm about. But no, I like the name change also. My name, the name I go by, the name I am legally going to change my name to, the first name is Brooke. I don't think I feel comfortable giving you my last name yet because I don't know about YouTube stalkers and stuff like that. I'm sure they're out there. And Andy says I'm a beautiful person. Thank you, Andy. And Patty says ridiculous. So somebody said he died for you so you can be healed. How about Jesus died for me so I can be who I want to be? You know, my brother. Oh my God, you should have heard him. You should have heard the shit he was saying to me. Such a hypocrite. Such a hypocrite. But he wouldn't come on here and debate me in front of all you people so you could decide who would make the better point. You know, he's just afraid. I wouldn't worry about people's opinions, especially on the internet. Um, it's not just the internet. I mean, I get laughed at in public all the time. People laugh at me every time I go in public. And being on the internet and hearing, all the crap, it hardens me to that a little bit. I don't care anymore. You're doing amazing things, changing avatar people are made. They can't be the same. You are a beautiful soul. Thank you, Priscilla. How old am I? Today is my birthday. I am 60 years old today. I turned 60. So I start that whole 60 years old, 10 years, I'm going to be 70. I'm so scared. Mm-hmm. You just said it the best. Use your real voice. You seem to be a nice person, but why not use your real sexuality? My real sexuality darkened my life for a very long time. I was a bad person. I think I might show a picture of myself tonight and show you guys what I was like when I was male. I'm thinking about it. I'll, I might do that, later on in the show, just to show you the kind of a thug that I was, and the people I was hanging around with. You know, the girlfriend that I had at that time had put a hit out on me with drug addicts and drug dealers. The number one drug dealer in Northern California was her friend, and I think she told him I was a narc or something. I didn't care. I was trying to get killed anyway. So I got thrown or ran out basically of a county by the Mexican mafia connection, dope addicts. That's the kind of life I was running. So this saved my life. I don't deal with those people anymore. I don't do that shit anymore. I've taken control of my life. I love who I am. I love myself for the first time. Alma says, Brooke, I really do care for you and support your views. You are very smart and wise. You are very dear and special to me. Thank you, Alma. You are to me too. How's your two boys doing, Alma? Hopefully they're doing good. You never did tell me how old your kids were, but I'm proud to call you my friend. And you too, the cognitive descendant. I have been thinking that maybe we do live multiple lives, and maybe we are just more compatible in the female body because of the kind of spirit you are. I don't know why. I just feel when I first started doing this, the change was so dramatic. In my personality, it just calmed me down. It brought me down. It showed me how to love and to care. And especially it taught me how to love and to care for myself. I hated myself. Oh my God, I would look in the mirror and be disgusted. I'd want to literally mutilate my own body. And now I get a doctor to do it for me. Okay, finally, after nothing but black chicks and Indians, I finally stumbled upon a beautiful woman. If you're talking about me, thank you very much. That's cool. Oh, thank you, Alma. Yes, it is my birthday, in case nobody heard me the first time. It's my birthday. I'm 60, the big 6-0 today. And I didn't do anything today. I was just so broken, so exhausted from the hurt, you know. But it's going to get better. This is making me feel better. It's the first time I smiled in 2 days, and you guys make me feel better. I appreciate it. And the people that don't know, that are just here thinking I'm some kind of just a crazy, weird trans person, I'm going to go through my little spiel with you guys so that you know something. I do not believe that trans women belong in women's bathrooms unless they've been completely transitioned. You don't belong in there. If you have a penis, you don't belong in the women's bathroom, period. You don't belong in women's locker rooms, period. Stay out of them. I also do not believe that trans women belong in women's sports regardless of the point of transition. It is unfair. It is not fair. You dominate the sports in an unfair way. Stay out of them. Trans people need to find their own category, have a third category, open or trans category, but you cannot do that to women. Women spend their whole lives working up to certain levels of sports, and then a trans woman comes along and blows them out of the water or takes their spot. That's not fair. It's not. And as far as kids transitioning before they're 18, no way. I'm going to try to get a bill going here, at least in California. Hopefully it goes statewide, that you cannot transition a child until they're over 18, until they can make their own decisions. Because like I read in that letter, somebody was parading their 4-year-old around in girls' clothes like that 4-year-old knows that it's transgender. That's ridiculous. That is child abuse. Those people should be arrested. That's child abuse. Leave the kids alone. So there's my little spiel on what I think about being trans and the public. I also don't think that you as a public should have this crammed down your throat. I don't think you as a public should be forced to call me ma'am if you don't want to. You know, I would prefer it, of course. This is how I present myself. But if you don't feel like you should or you can, then don't. It is what it is. I'm not going to run away crying. I got bigger things to worry about than what you think about me. I'm going to check that Alma. I've heard certain names a few times through messages that I should check these people out, and I'm going to check them out because I want to hear. I don't know any trans people. I don't know any LGBTQ people. I mean, they probably don't like me for what I say and how I say it. You know, I'm not right along with whatever their agenda is, but I'm not about their agenda. I'm about common sense, about kids. Puberty blockers, really? I mean, to me, it's like, how can a kid say that they know what their sex is before they've even had sex? You know, it's just, I actually wrote a song. I have this friend of mine who can make jingles to songs, kind of like a humorous song, and I wrote a song about the kids, you know, trying to tell their parents, and the kind of the gist of the song is so the parents say, oh, you want to be an adult now? Here's the keys. You know, put it this way. Kids can't get a tattoo. Kids can't smoke cigarettes. Kids can't drink beer. And in California, kids can't buy recreational marijuana or nothing. But we're going to let them change their gender? How does that make sense to anybody? It's crazy. I feel like, okay, that one got zapped. Okay, look up La Rel 2. He's lovely and now detransitioning. Also a different process. Speaking of that, I did watch this show. I can't remember the name of the podcast. If I can, I'll put a link in the bottom so you guys can watch it if you're interested. It was about a guy who was a Navy SEAL, and he came out and said he was transgender. He started to do the transition, and he hooked up with his therapist. And the therapist started pecking around in his little brain there and came up with a thing and presented something to this Navy SEAL. Well, it turns out that he wasn't transgender. What he was when he was young, his sisters got treated way better than he did. So throughout his childhood, he wanted to be his sisters because they were getting treated so much better than him. And he carried that kind of through to adulthood. And once they found that out, he realized that there's a name for it too. I can't remember exactly what it is. I'll try to find it out. But he realized that he's not trans. He just has this trauma from childhood that made him think he was, and he detransitioned as well. And he's convinced that probably more than half trans people are the same as he was, and he's trying to get his message out. And I would get that message out too. I'm not trying to make people become trans. If anything else, I'm a deterrent for people because this is fucking hard. Without the support of the people in this group that I've mentioned a few times, this would be impossible. Teho Trish is vote injured and trans. They bully her a lot. Do they? They bully her a lot. Oh, and is a vet injured and trans and they bully her? I don't get that. Why do people that feel the need to come in this room or any other room and pick on us? I mean, I can take it. I don't care. You, you know. I mean, but I just don't understand why the hate. You know, would your mothers appreciate or approve of you talking to strangers like that? Uh, was it an emotional jealousy thing? Yeah, for if you're talking about for that Navy SEAL, exactly it was. It was an emotional jealousy because the father of this person, if I remember correctly, was really, really hard on the boy, but treated the girls like princesses. So he wanted to be his sisters, but he didn't want to be a girl. He just wanted to be them, and they got confused in his brain. So he thought he must be transgender. He wanted to be a girl, but no, he it got all worked out, and that's it's such a good story. I mean, it really is. I will try to find um, the link and post it on this or somewhere on my page and give so if you want to listen, it's a really really good interesting show. It's not all fluffy duffy and shit like that. It's pretty to the point, you know. And this person, like he says, he doesn't hate transgender people. Now, he said he met a lot of good people, but he believes that more than half of transgender people have the same condition that he does. And if they knew about it, they'd probably realize it themselves. I don't know. I don't know. I only know for me. I only know what happened to me. I think the most horrible parenting experience that I've heard when it comes to transgender is people saying that their kids are transgender when they're just babies. Please, somebody tell me that. So, on a different subject, how many people out there were shocked at the way Joe Biden performed during his debate with Donald Trump? How many were shocked at that? Or how many already knew? I already knew that Joe was slipping. I've been saying it for a while. I thought for a while they were going to throw in Gavin Newsom from California anyway. But that debate, it broke my heart because you see an elderly man that's lost his way and he's obviously has dementia or Alzheimer's or something happening, and they're throwing him out there and making him do that. And I think he needs to be resting. It's just my opinion. I was just curious if anybody else felt the same way. What country do I live in? I live in the United States of America. Another man lost. Sad as fuck. You went out like Bruce Jenner. No, I didn't go out like Bruce Jenner. Bruce Jenner gave me courage. He wasn't my idol. He wasn't my idol when I was a kid either, even though he was on the Wheaties box all the time. But he gave me courage, you know, and he became Caitlyn, his true self. And I give him credit because imagine the publicity and the negativity that he got and still gets as Caitlyn. I should say that she gets, Caitlyn gets, but and with her kids being so famous, but they accepted her for who she is. That's the heartwarming thing. If Kylie Jenner and them can accept him as Caitlyn, as a she, why can't you guys? I mean, they're trendsetters. You'd think that people would get along just because they do. Anyway, because you can't be yourself, so you try what he did. No, no, no. I was myself for 50. I was myself that way. You said I couldn't be longer than you've been alive. Put it that way. Probably a lot longer than you've been alive. So don't give me that shit. I don't have to take that from you. That she is rich. Yeah, he's rich. It probably makes it a little easier. You'd think they'd have better doctors, right? But I have I believe that I have top-notch doctors. I go to a top-notch facility, a very well-known one. I'm not going to mention it on here because, like I said, I don't know what YouTube. I've heard some people that go in there have to sell their houses because people go crazy and stalk them. What is your favorite car brand? Mine is uh, Mercedes. Mercedes, Nissan, Chevy, and Mitsubishi. I like the old muscle cars myself, the old 69 Chevys. I had a 64 and a half Mustang, um, special thing. I had a SS Chevy, 1965, I think it was. I like those cars. Terry says you're living complete opposite to God, opposition to God. I'm only telling you this, hoping that you will turn your back on sin, start a relationship with Jesus. If you think you're good with Jesus, you're wrong. I think I'm good with God. I really do. I think that God had me wait this long to come out because I have a message to tell. I think I'm sending God's message that says you should love everybody. It's not your job to judge. That's his job. And I firmly believe, I've said this 100 times, when I go to heaven, God is not going to look at my pants. He's going to look at my heart. Okay? I'm not protesting it for he, she, a human. If you're going to against your lifestyle, it's not bothering me. Whatever, I don't get that. Carrie, freestyle. You rely on a transition of the Bible based in other translations that came into existence for thousands of years. It's all interpretation. I wrote a whole sermon about being transgender that came directly out of the Bible, and I never said it. I was doing it out of spite for my brother who says he's a minister, because nowhere in the Bible it says you can't be transgender. It says something about not wearing guys' clothes or something like that, but come on, this is wrote thousands of years ago. Things have changed. You cannot believe everything. If you take the Bible verbatim, what about when Jesus said that Adam has tried every other beast in the land and is not satisfied, so I made woman to satisfy him. So he tried every other beast. I mean, come on, read between the lines. But that's not really what they meant. It's metaphoric. So therefore, I don't. God says love everybody. What does that mean? Everybody except transgender people? Come on, come on. You really think that? Somebody says I eat my own poo. God tells me to. Okay, that's pretty shitty. Pun intended. Yes, I am trans. Just sarcasm. What the fuck is going on, says Noah. Oh, you got a lot of catching up to do. Whoop, whoop. Bye, Burnett. How long have you been a girl for? I started transitioning roughly, my doctor and I were talking about this today, in public right about 3 years ago. I started to feel comfortable with myself about a year ago because the hormones started kicking in and I just started feeling better and started being more brave to go out in public. At first I wouldn't go out in public at all. It must have been driving Christine crazy, and she kind of held my hand throughout it all and with my strength, so I kind of unnecessarily, she was a brunt of my stress and stuff this weekend, and it was not fair. I mean, I was in a really bad place. Sometimes the ones that are closest to you, the ones that you know, expect to help you more than they really need to or should. Deadhead88 says, I know your family has to be disappointed. Yes, they are very disappointed. My family is very disappointed. That's what we've been talking about today, is how disappointed my family is. They are so disappointed that they've disowned me. So if that gives you pleasure to know that my pain like that, then I'm not the one who's got an issue. Do you agree on trans women being in female sports? No, I don't. I think trans women have no business in female sports at all. I think that they should have their own category. It's not fair to the natural born women. And like I'll say it again, I do not call natural born women, cis women, because I don't know what that word means. I don't know where it came from, but it sounds insulting. You know, they're natural born females. I'm not. This isn't the only trans woman. Nobody hollered God when our troops killed innocent kids for the sakes of oil. And if you care about God so much, he said, love thy neighbor. Nowhere did he say judge them. That's right. He's correct. You know, yeah, there's bigger things to worry about than whether I'm acceptable in public. There's children being killed all over the world. Ukraine, Israel. I mean, this is terrible. War is so terrible. Why can't we get along? What is going on? You know what it is? We have old people running our countries all over the world, and they're fucking all this nuts. They're all warmongers. The youth needs to take over. The youth needs, and it's going to happen because it's progression by death. As soon as somebody dies that's old, the younger people start to take over because we have to change the mentality of this country, or we're going to lose this country. I mean, people need to really, really, really take their politics and voting this vote session really, really. I personally will vote for Robert Kennedy. He's the running on the independent because I think that he makes the most sense from what I've heard. Trump is, if I had to pick between Trump and Biden, I would pick Trump. But he is so against trans people, and as a whole, I have a hard time. And he's such a, he's kind of, he's like a, I don't know, he rides the edge a little too much for my taste. I think Kennedy would be tough enough and diplomatic enough to change things around here without being radical. Now, I'm not putting Trump down so that all the Trumpers don't start hating me. I think he's way better than Biden. Biden's just it's just sad because he's just mentally not there. Which brings me to this. Who is running our country? It's not Joe Biden. Who is running our country? Nobody's asking this question. Who is running the country? Anyway, back to whatever. Sorry. Political blurb. People are too fantastical. That's the problem, says Santiago. It doesn't make sense why people hate me for this. Nobody has ever answered this question for me, the people that disagree with what I'm doing. What is it about being transgender that you hate? What is it that I'm doing that makes you hate me so much? If you could just please tell me, or dislike me, or disapprove, or whatever. What is it? Please tell me. I would like to know. As a medical provider, I wish you the best with your family, physical and mental. People are allowed to have opinions when it comes to social topics, but healthcare should be given a provider, not a be given by providers, not randos. I'm not sure what the end of that meant, but yeah, people are. I mean, people can have their opinions here. I'm not condemning anybody who thinks I'm an abomination and I'm headed for hell. I'm not condemning them. They have their right. They have their opinions. I don't understand why they dislike me that much just because I'm trans, but if that's, I can't, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I think healthcare is, like they passed a law in California that just drove me crazy, that schools do not have to tell parents when children identify as trans at school. They don't have to inform the parents that. They don't identify at home. And I realize that in some cases that they say, well, it might not be safe for the child. If it's not safe for the child to tell the parents, then there's something more going on there than just that needs to be looked into. But I don't think a school should ever hold anything like that back from the parents. The parents have a right to know. This is reaching too far. You're gone too far. You're taking the rights of parents away. This is their children, not yours. This is not the school's children's. They're there to teach them, not to put their own beliefs upon these kids. That's up to the parents to do. That's wrong. I don't know how that bill passed. I heard it was debated pretty heavily, but it passed. I could not believe that. Somebody said you're okay, just stay out of the lesbian space. I'm 60. I feel for people that are trans and they're younger because they probably still want to date and everything. I think I'm pretty good. I mean, I'm 60. I'm kind of beyond all that. I don't know. I don't even know how I even begin to be a female or a woman. Excuse me, I misspoke. A woman and the sexual part of it. I don't even know how. I have no idea. I have no idea. So. No, I'll be probably staying out of the lesbian area. But besides, I'm not the kind that would ever hide who I am anyway. I would be completely upfront with anybody who showed interest in me, that who I was, where I came from, what I'm about. I'm not about tricking people. I'm not about fooling people. And if you listen to me for more than 5 minutes, you'll probably realize that. Okay. Do your birthday, did your birthday just pass? Happy late birthday. Oh, Trans and Trucks, hi. Trans, I always say that. Trains and Trucks is here. This is one of the regulars that's here a lot, and I appreciate you showing up. Thank you very much. Yeah, today is my birthday, by the way, Trains and Trucks. Um, yeah, today is, I'm 60. Happy birthday. It's been kind of a rough one. You're just pulling in. Maybe somebody else can fill you in the chat, but it's been a kind of a rough birthday. But thank you for the wishes. I appreciate that. Oh my God, I love you. You have the best morals as a transgender person. Like, I am so happy that some of the trans people have common sense. Woohoo. Thank you. It is truly that. It is just common sense. You know, some of these things that laws are passing are just ridiculous. I mean, just, and please, if you're a member of the LBGT community, please don't think that I look past the suffering that you guys have done to get to the point that you are, to where I have some of the programs in place that help me with this. I appreciate that. I think we're going too far. I think we're cramming it down people's throats, and I don't think it's helping any. I think it's hurting things. If anything, it's making people resent trans people more than ever, because they're just being force fed this. You have to say this, and you have to say that. You know, especially I've heard of people that are demanding to be called her when they have full beards. They don't look anything like a female. At least I attempt to look like one, and they're demanding to be called her. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. I know it sounds hypocritical to me, but to me, I think it's more than just a feeling. Today, I feel like I'm a girl. I think it's a lot more than that. To me, it is anyway. It comes from within, you know. So, happy birthday. Mine is on the 11th. So you're a Cancer as well. Happy birthday to you on the 11th. And the 11 is my crazy numbers right here. If anybody out there knows anything about numerology or whatever, where you take your birth date, the day, month, year, and they add it together and do some craziness, and then they come up with a primary number, a single digit, unless it comes up 11. Well, when you do mine, it comes up 11. And then you take the names and you do the same thing and see what the number is for that life path or whatever number. And with my name, it also comes up to the 11. So both my numbers, as far as name and birth date, are 11, which is really, really rare and really weird. And the number 11 has totally played a huge part in my whole entire life. But just recently, I figured that's why it says 1111 here, because I figured that out. I had AI actually take my name and put it through the generator thing and see what my life number or life goal number. I can't remember what it's called, but people out there that know about numerology will know what I'm talking about. It's kind of amazing that they're both 11. And I didn't know that. Millie says, I'm trying to figure out mine. What has happened today, if you don't mind telling me? Hope things are not too bad. Trains and trucks, I'll give you a brief summary. Is I had a falling out with my family about me being trans. It's getting to the point where I just don't understand the pushback. But the result is I've been extremely upset. And my dad kind of insulted me, saying to me that nobody's ever going to hire me. You know, how am I going to ever find work? You know, he had given me a firearm for protection, and he took that back. Like, what is that all about? And you know, mom was like, I just don't want to talk about it. My daughter kind of totally went off on me. And my ex-wife, this is what started it all. My ex-wife wrote my mom a text that says, listen, lady, get your shit together with all this she bullshit. I don't care what happens in your family, but not in my family. She said that to my 81-year-old mother. And I lost it. I fucking lost it. I went off on her. I went off on my daughter for letting her say that. That you don't say that to an 81-year-old woman. They deserve respect. That woman deserves respect. She does not deserve that kind of a message from anybody, and I'm not going to let anybody talk to my mom that way. But it started this big freaking wahoo war, and it ended up where my daughter says that, you know, she doesn't even want to be in my life no more. So that's what happened. Trains and tracks. I don't want to start crying, but yeah, that's what happened, and it just so happened to happen on my birthday, and it kind of sucks. Do you watch Brett Cooper? I don't know who Brett Cooper is. Sir, what happened when you add up the numbers? What happens? I don't know what happens when you add up those numbers. Could I suggest that Americans look up the law of war, the law of war manual online, section 11.3. I'll look it up later on after this broadcast here. Gee, aren't they the same person? The Trinity is God, which is the expression of the district. I don't know about all that. It's because you killed her dad, in a sense. Yeah, you're right, Mark. Mark said it's because I killed her dad, and I did. And I get that. And she said that. She said, I lost my dad. When I call for help, I want that big, strong dad figure coming to rescue me, not Brooke. So I understand that. Believe me, it's not lost on me what I'm asking her to accept. It's been 3 years that, I don't expect her to just jump on board one day. I was just hoping she would come along a little bit. And maybe through my stupidity or me getting so upset, pushing her further away, it's frustrating because I don't feel that much different. I just feel happier. My oldest daughter said to her, goes, I don't understand what your problem is. It's been 3 years. So she says, Dad is the same person, just happier and just dresses different. That's what my older daughter said. So it's a family fucking quandary. It sucks. I hate this. If I had a choice to be transgender or not transgender, I would pick not transgender. But I don't have that choice. So I'm making the best out of my life right now. I spent 60 years doing what everybody else wants. I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing this. I can't put the genie back in the bottle. I don't want to. And I'm hoping that my daughter comes around. I'm hoping that she matures because I think she's being very immature, at least not to understand that unconditional love means unconditional love. It doesn't mean I love you unless you're transgender. So, this really pisses me off. Reese Quack. They'll come around eventually. I hope so. I pray that they will. Wow, is that a lot? I hope that you are doing all right. Hope your family will come back and support you. You don't deserve this. You should be loved and treated right. You're still a human. Thank you. Trains and trucks. I feel this. I don't understand it. I told my parents when we were sitting down after dinner, I said to them, I go, there's nothing that you could ever tell me or say to me or change in any way that would keep me from loving you, would keep me from supporting you. I just don't get it. And they're just like, I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to know part of it. Don't even mention it to me. Don't nothing. That's when the dad said, my problem is, what are you going to do for a living? Nobody's going to hire you. It's like, wow. So anyway, that was kind of rough. Yeah, it's been a lot, trains and trucks. It's been a lot. But this is making me feel better. I can feel myself kind of lifting my spirits and coming out of my funk. I don't feel like I'm going to start crying. I was bawling my eyes out in the doctor's office today, while they're taking my blood and doing EKG and all that shit for my surgery, the pre-surgery stuff. And I'm just like crying away, just, being a big old baby. Well, there are many people that just don't understand what it is. There are many people that don't really understand what Christianity is. All they know is the bad example. I don't know. I don't know about all that. Do you have body? Where'd you go? Somebody zap you? I think they said, do I have body dysmorphia? Yes, I did. I literally think about cutting off my own penis before. I've thought that. Just butchering it because that's how much I hated myself, how much I hated my body. Of course, I didn't do that. That was in the darkest moments. But yeah, I've thought about that, and that's not a good way to think. Now, when I look at myself in the mirror, I know I'm on the right track. I look at myself and I feel beautiful. I feel right. I look in the mirror and think this is what it should have been my whole life. And it's just sad that I waited as long, but I waited for a reason, I guess. There was a reason that I came out now, so I can reach out to people that are on this platform and try to get my word out that we're not all crazy. We have common sense, you know. And I think, hi Brooke, this is Millie. Hi Brooke, if you want, I can email you and you can email me whenever about anything, and I will try to support you from Australia. Thank you. Please, I'd love that. Um, if you don't know my email address, I'll post it in the chat, and then yeah, please do. I would love to talk to you through email. I'd love to talk to any one of these people. Oh, and that reminds me, if you're in here and you're a repeat viewer, or you're new, or you want to hear a little bit more about how I feel about things, please subscribe and like the video. It helps. I guess it helps when you like something. I don't know, that whatever they call that, some thing that makes it to where they show more people, I guess. I don't know. It would help me. It would help me out a lot. Just to get there. All I'm trying to do is get the word out that not all trans people are freaking crazy. That some of us have minds. Some of us are care about the children not transitioning. Some of us care about not going into the women's bathroom. You know, and I've told people many times, it says it's not the person they don't want in the women's bathroom, it's the penis. They don't want the penis in the women's bathroom, and that's understandable. They shouldn't have to worry about that. I'd say, picture it this way: a 7-year-old girl, let's say a 7-year-old girl, right, is so all of a sudden feeling like she's ready to go to the bathroom by herself, that she doesn't need dad to help, and she doesn't want to go in the boys' bathroom with dad anymore. So the dad says, "Go ahead, sweetheart, I'll be right here outside the door," right? And a trans person walks out after that child is in there, or walks in while the child is in there, and this trans person is going to make a very uncomfortable situation. Now, if the trans person has been, completely, totally transitioned and has a vagina, then they belong there. Other than that, it's not worth the discomfort, you know. So just hold it, find a gender neutral bathroom, go home. There's no need to push that point, because it's not right. You still have man parts that you don't belong in, where other women are using facilities. You just don't belong there. My opinion. Thank you, Andre. You happen to be. Can you say hi, please, Natalie? Hi, Natalie. Hello. Please hit the Debbie. Yeah, please hit the like. Like helps. If there's anything I say that makes sense to you, please hit the like. Subscribe. I try to come on here once or twice a week. I would like to get on some different subjects, not just about convincing everybody that trans people have common sense too. But I will keep doing that as long as it's making a difference. You know, trans women don't belong in girls' bathrooms. Trans women do not belong in girls' sports. Kids should not be allowed to transition until they're 18 and can make their own decisions. I am really stern on that one. Like I've said a bunch of times during this podcast, I'm trying to figure out a way to get a law on the books that says, takes the burden off the parents. Parents can just say, "I'm sorry, it's a law. You can't transition until you're 18." Doesn't mean you can't present yourself as female through your clothing or through, your hair, through makeup. I'm just saying, medically, as far as any kind of pills or puberty blockers, it's not going to make that much of a difference. So you'll have a little bit more of a deeper voice, but at 18, it's fine. And I know that's kind of hypocritical of me to say, and a lot of young trans girls, they really get mad at me for this, but, this is how I feel. And I think that they should wait till they're 18 when they can make their own decisions, because I've also heard a lot of women come on here and say that they thought they were trans. By the time they were 18, they realized they weren't, and they detransitioned before it was too late. And thank God that nobody went in there and gave them a mastectomy or that kind of stuff. So it's worthy to wait. Just wait. You don't know yet. You think you know, but you don't. You don't. Thank you. It says my videos are creative and interesting. They're kind of stupid, I know. It's all about cows. A lot of it's about cows, and because that's where I work. I work around cows, and I just think they're so funny sometimes. There was this one cow that was on the ranch. Her number was 2508, and as long as she was around, this cow, every time it would see me, it would come up behind me, sneak up behind me, and stick its head under my butt and lift me up in the air. It was just playing. It didn't know it could really hurt me, but this cow, I mean, she was so smart, so fun. 2508, I will never forgive her. And here's a little secret you guys should know about cows. If you look at cows, look at them in a whole, they all have different hairdos. They're all born with different hairdos. Some of them are slicked over, some of them are spiked standing straight up, some of them look like they're combed forward. It's so funny. They all have different hairdos. Every single one of them is different. That's kind of like their identifying thing or whatever. And they all have different personalities too. Cows have personalities. Some are nice, some are mean, some pick on the other cows. Some of them are just really happy and some of them are really scared. It's just, they're cool. They're cool. Anyway, I'll stop talking about cows. Just subscribed. Found you. We need to look at your other video. Thank you, Andre. I appreciate you subscribing. Anybody else, please subscribe. It helps the channel grow. I'm really kind of really small. You know, I have like, I appreciate everyone. I have only like 1,200 subscribers, but I appreciate every single one. I would really love this to get big so we could talk about some really important topics here with common sense and no bias one way or the other, just common sense. Let's just talk about the issues straight on, no bullshit, you know, how they are. And if California passes one more goddamn law to where they're doing shit to kids, I'm going to lose my shit. Completely going to lose my shit. Leave the kids alone. This is ridiculous. What is wrong with these politicians where they're pushing these issues forward? And can please somebody tell me what woke means? What does it mean to be woke? I don't get that. What is woke? What is that? What is cancel culture? I don't get any of this stuff. I guess I'm too old. Why should women be offended with men pretending to be a woman and saying that they are a woman? Okay, that's another fair question. I appreciate that. I think a lot of women consider me as what used to be called blackface for African Americans. You know, where the white people used to put on black makeup and get on stage and pretend to be black. I think a lot of women think that I'm kind of like the modern version of that, and I understand it and I sympathize with it. I don't know how to change your minds of that. All I can say is that since I was a little tiny kid, I felt like I was a girl, and I can't be a female, I can't give reproduction, but this is how I feel comfortable. I'm sorry that it's insulting to you. I don't mean it to be. I admire you as a natural born woman. I really admire you, and I know I can't be you. I'm just trying to be myself. I'm not trying to be better than you or think I'm better than you or anything, because I don't. You know, I'm in the middle. I'm in my own area. I can't be a female. I can't be a male in my mind, but I can be me. I just be a lady. That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to be a lady. I'm trying to represent females the best that I can. I'm not trying to embarrass you or take your place. I hope that helps with your answer. I subscribed weeks ago. Thank you, Storm Lee. I appreciate that too. Look at Debbie's killing people. Look at Elma's killing people too, just taking them out. Hi Brooke, I just seen you and emailed. Don't be scared to reach out, honey. I won't. I won't be. And I'm glad to have another, friend in my corner. I'm really meeting some incredible people here that I did not know that this would turn into to meeting people that were so nice and so level-headed and so supportive. It's imperative to my mental health to have people that support me, especially with my family, such kickbacks. And my family are kind of they were prejudiced, and they didn't like gay people, and so for me to come out as trans is like taboo for this family. They're backwoods, and it pisses me off. It's like, you guys need to start. Things have changed. Things aren't the way they used to be. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Sorry, I heard some crash. I thought Chris might have fallen down. Hey, Brooke, I just sent you an email. Okay. Yes, please keep talking about the cows and the animals in general. Do you come from rural farming background? Yeah, I was raised in the country. I guess I was a cowboy before, and now I'm a cowgirl. I mean, everybody I work here, I work and live on the ranch that I work at, on a dairy ranch. We are a milk dairy. We produce milk. And I'm kind of in charge of just keeping equipment running right. And I built a house for the owner to rent from the ground up. So I have skills. I did everything myself: electricity, foundation, framing, roofing, everything. You name it, I did it. The whole kitchen. Someday I'll put a picture up of it. It turned out really beautiful. I was really proud of myself. So that's what I do here. And I live here and work here, and it's all men. And I came out at work about a year ago now, and the owner, who is a very Catholic person, has pulled me aside and said, I don't understand what you're doing. I don't agree with what you're doing, but I accept you for who you are. And that's all I could ask from him. He's very religious. And the rest of the people on the ranch are Mexicans. They're Hispanics. So most of them don't talk to me anymore. One person that I didn't get along with since I've been here is the only person who actually still treats me like a human being. It's kind of funny. The one person I would have expected to be the worst to me has been the nicest. So I think people are starting to, loosen up a little bit, but they don't understand it. They just think I'm weird. So, but it's been hard that way too. It's been really hard all the way around. Trying to get people to accept you for who you are when you're trans is crazy. I'd be better off cutting my head off, putting it in a jar, and they would accept that better. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. I think a lot of us women feel like trans women are just putting on makeup, heels, dress, and act and saying, I'm a trans woman now, and it's kind of hurtful. I get it. I get what you're saying, but trust me when I tell you this. At least all I can say is for me, this is something way deeper than just the external of myself. I've always felt that I was born in the wrong body. I know it's cliche and all that bullshit, but this is how I truly feel, and I am doing my best to represent at least the trans women to my best ability. I do not go out there looking like a clown, or at least I try not to. I go out there and try to represent a female the best that I can with as much respect and dignity as I can. And that's all I can do. And I can't be you. I cannot be a natural born woman. But I'm going to try to not embarrass you or not to make you think that I'm trying to be you, because I can't. I'm just trying to be me. It just, unfortunately, I want to be a woman. And I love myself. At the end of the day, for me, it's hate the sin, love the sinner, still related in Christ, and we're all God's children. We are all God's children, including me. Including me. God will embrace me in his arms because I have goodness in my heart. I know that. I'm not a bad person. I think God sees that I'm not a bad person, and I think he'll welcome me in heaven when my time comes, because it's not too far away. I'm 60. If I'm lucky, I got 15 years. Simple Girl, Alma and Debbie, y'all angels. Yes, they are. They are angels. Debbie is the first person in these live feeds every time, and the first person to come, the last person to leave. I appreciate that. And then they defend me wholeheartedly, and so does trains and trucks. And I wish. And cognitive descendant. You guys should have a tough name to say. Is also a new person in this area that is really showing support. And the other person that just came in, I'm sorry, your name escapes me. Millie is also somebody that showed me incredible support. And Alma, just thank you. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for all your support. You make it worthwhile. So if you don't mind, I'm going to give my spiel again about trans people. That most people think that I think, because I'm transgender, that y'all have to call me ma'am or miss or whatever, and you guys are sick of it, right? You guys are sick of being force-fed transgender people. It's everywhere. I mean, and they're cramming it down your throat, and I don't agree with that. I think they should lighten up. I think they should if they would stop putting the spotlight on us, maybe people would stop thinking about it so much. So I think that, and I apologize for the other people that are cramming it down your throat. Trust me, I'm not going to do that. If you don't feel that you can bring yourself to call me female, that's your prerogative. That is your choice. You have that right. I do not think that trans women belong in women's sports, period. I think it's unfair. It's completely unfair, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to think that there's no competitive edge to the trans woman than to the natural born female. That's ridiculous. They don't belong there. I'm sorry. And if you're a trans person and you're fighting to get into women's sports, knock it off. Back off. It's not where you belong. And you sure as fuck don't belong in a woman's locker room in high school, let alone anywhere else. If you have a penis, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? They're going to be girls are uncomfortable with that. Of course, they're going to not go in there because you're in there. So just stay out of it. Find a different way. Go to another bathroom. Go to a neutral one. Stay out of there. You don't belong in there. My opinion. And finally, kids under 18 years old should not be touched by medical of any kind. Any kind. No puberty blockers. No testosterone blockers. No surgeries. Nothing. Leave them alone. Let them make their own decisions after they're 18 when they're mature enough to at least begin to think about what they're actually doing. My opinion, okay? There's my spiel. We can get back to this other thing. Dressing up, okay, there, somebody zapped that one. Timothy, you might want to watch what you say on here. People get pissed fast. That's right, Millie. They do, because people defend me because they know I have a good heart. I believe that. And that I'm not trying to push an agenda on you guys. I'm not trying to cram transgender down your throat. I'm a normal person, just a normal person trying to tell people that we have common sense. That what you see in the media is not representing of me anyway. I don't like what I see. It makes me angry. And a lot of people believe that trans women are the same as drag queens. Oh my gosh, we could not be more different. Put it this way, technically I cannot be a drag queen. They wouldn't let me because I want to be a woman. Drag queens are men dressing up like women and performing. They're happy being men, but they go way over the top, way over on everything. I'm not a drag. Drag and trans are different. Although a lot of people think they're the same, but they're not. Believe me, they're completely different. You should chat with Buck Angel. I'm up for chatting with anybody. I've been trying to get somebody to come on here as a co-host. You know, one of the people that support me really good. Any one of you are welcome. And I am working on getting a phone number to where if people want to call with a question or with a statement or a response, I'm going to make that possible. To where I can't take a lot of them because it'll probably only like two numbers, but you know, just so that we can get some people's opinions on here other than mine, and they can actually either talk or debate a point with me rather than just me reading, you know, as many as I can. I think that would be a good way of actually hearing other people's opinions and what they think rather than just reading a sentence. I think it would give certain people the opportunity to actually make their point or state their case, and then we could discuss it like grown adults. I'm not going to take calls where people are just calling me names or yelling at me. I'm not going to do that. So if you're mature enough and you have an actual point that you'd like to make or a real question, I'm going to come with a platform where you can make a phone call and do that. Or if you let me know ahead of time, I can make it to where I can send you a link and you can actually come on here and be a split screen with me, as long as you're respectful, because we will throw you out in a heartbeat if you come on and try to make a fool out of me or anybody else on this show. We want people to be nice to people here. It's not asking too much. Okay, I suspect you're great, Brooke. I like the kind of person I see you are. Thank you very much, Santiago. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm assuming with your name that you're part of the Hispanic community. And I know it's kind of hard sometimes because a lot gets lost in the translation, you know. But because I work all day and night, usually when I go shopping, it's in the evening. And I love to shop at Walmart. Kill me. I think it's a cool store. I love to shop there. The prices are good. And where I'm from, it's probably 90% Hispanic that shop there. And some of the people that are very, very unkind to me are Hispanics. And I don't know why. I don't know if these are Spanish people that don't speak much English. Some of them do. Some of the younger kids do, but they treat me pretty bad. And I don't know why. Is there a disconnect? Is there nobody's talking about it in Spanish? You know, I'm truly asking. I'm not being a racist. I'm just asking the question. I really want to know the answer. Is it that they just don't know or they don't understand what it is? I don't know. I don't know what they're taught in Spanish. I would really like to know because I'd like to be able to speak of this with intelligence and not sound like some kind of a racist fool. Okay, so there you go. Tim Reynolds, you're in special ed. Tim, if you're under 18, you shouldn't be in here. Sorry, but this is for 18 and over. I'm very conservative culture. It's a very conservative culture. I think you're referring to the Hispanics. Isn't it true that over in Mexico they have, or in some place that's Spanish, that they have one day where all the men dress up like women? I've heard this before. That one day a year, all the men dress up like women. I don't know what that's for. If you know what that's about, please enlighten me. I'd love to know. I'm not dissing, but I just don't fit right. It don't fit right for me. Tim Reynolds says. Tim, I think you've been in here before. I understand. I get that. Hopefully, if you stick around for the next probably 18 months, my face will become more feminine because of some procedures that I'm having done. They're going to fix my nose. They're going to fix my chin to where it looks more feminine, more presents not such strong masculine features. And then I think it'll soften my face a little bit. And it's going to be painful. It's going to hurt. And it's going to be a crazy thing. But it's only like a 6-week healing time, and then the swelling will go down. And I think I will, think I will look a little softer. And that's something I wanted. I don't think I need to. I would be okay with my face the way it is, kind of. But it would make me feel better to have more feminine features, just to keep going with this, where I'm going with this. Like I said, I think I'm going to show you guys a picture of me before. It might be shocking. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. You guys tell me, should I show a picture of myself before I started to transition, or should I not? I mean, or you just don't care. If you want, just write in there, like, yes, you care. Yeah, yes, you would like to, or no, you would not like to see that photo. Um, oh, Alma, I love it when people talk back and forth in the chat too. By all means, communicate with each other. That's what this is about. I'm just a long-winded Louie. I'm just one up here yapping. But talk to people in the chat. Get to know people. This is a place for people just to get along with each other. It's kind of cool. We don't judge. Hopefully, I'm teaching people not to judge me for what I am. I'm not a fool. I'm not a creature. I don't want to hurt our children. I don't want any of that stuff. Please just take a little bit of time to get to know me. And if you can, it would really help to subscribe to the channel. I know that everybody asks that, and it feels kind of weird to ask people to subscribe to the channel, but I guess it helps out a lot. And I want to prove my dad wrong. I want to prove him that I can make some money. I won't make much, but at least I can say I got a little check from YouTube. I'm kind of a ways away from monetizing, but every step is a little bit closer. I don't think I'm ever going to get wealthy or make any significant money, but just to show him that just being myself, that I can make a little bit of money. Because he's convinced that nobody will hire me as a transgender. Nobody. Although we are in kind of the construction area, so I think he's thinking about that, because he kind of taught me everything I know about construction, but and building stuff. But I think that there's a market for people that would hire me anyway. I just believe that. It's your skill. Why would they judge you? I mean, can I build the house? Yeah, I can. So why wouldn't you hire me? Who cares what I look like? Can I do the job? That's the bottom line. Should I be a woman? Nick says. I don't know. I don't know if you should, Nick. If you want to talk about it a little more on here, or if you want to talk about it more in private, send me an email and I'll talk to you about it. I mean, I don't know if you should be a woman. That's for you to decide, not for me to tell you. I'll tell you one thing. This is not easy. If you decide to become or go a trans route, you're in for a long, hard time. It's not fun. It's not easy. It's the most rewarding part of this for me, other than the fact that I feel pretty for the first time in my life, is the amazing people that I've met in forums like this. Other than that, out in the public, in the cruel world, it's hard. Your family most likely is not going to agree with you. Most likely they're going to disown you, at least for a period of time. That's what I'm experiencing. That's what I've heard from other people too. It's very, very heart-wrenching. I mean, this is my birthday, and I got crushed between yesterday and today. Just totally destroyed. And it's a monumental birthday, too. It's the 60th, so it just hurt that much more. So if you're trans or you're thinking about trans, really think about it. If you have a question in your mind, just even the slightest question that whether you're trans or not, you're probably not trans. So anyway, that's just my opinion, one person's opinion. That's it. Nick, if you don't like being a man, then try it, but don't force it on yourself. I'm not forcing it on myself. This came natural to me. Once I let it out completely, I was a closet trans person. I've been married twice. I have two kids and three grandchildren. I'm ashamed to say that when I would, like, my wife would go off on vacation with the kids or something, and they'd leave me at home, I would dress up as a girl, and I would present myself as a girl just around the house, and I felt so fantastic, but I was ashamed, so I'd never let it out. Nobody ever knew. Nobody knew at all. No, I told my mom the other day we were talking about. She goes, "Well, how come I didn't know this?" I go, "Mom, I used to wear nylons to school when I was in junior high because it made me feel safe, made me feel whole, but I never told anybody." That's how much I hid it from the world. Nobody knew for 50 something years. Nobody had a clue. It was a shock. A lot of people were like, "No fucking way." Yes, I'm 60, Camp Crystal Lake. Happy 60th birthday, Andrew says. Thank you very much. I think it's almost over now. I think it's getting late. But it hasn't been one for the books. But I was looking forward to this live session because I knew it was going to pick me up. I knew it would help me get through the ugliness that I went through today. And believe it or not, some of those people that I'm talking about will watch this if they're not watching it now. My ex-wife overstepped the boundaries, what she said to my mother. My ex-wife told my mother in a text, "Listen, lady, get your shit together. That he, she, whatever that thing is on your side, might fly in your family, but it doesn't fly." She said this to my mom. My mom's 81. My mom deserves respect. And that's what sent me off. I went off. I mean, I went off. Nobody talks to my mom like that. Nobody. There's no reason to. She deserves respect, and nobody's going to disrespect her without me coming down on them. So, and I kind of got, because I did that, it pushed my daughter further away from me because I defended my mom about this. But I don't care. My daughter's being ridiculous. If she thinks that's okay to have her grandmother talk like that, then we're going to have more problems because it's not. My mom's 81 years old. She's done her job. She raised 3 boys by herself. She deserves respect. And I don't care. My ex-wife is a rotten fucking person. And she's going to, oh, I hate her, but anyway, that's here or there. She doesn't get away with saying that about my mother. You started transitioning in your 50s. When did your wife find out? Says, hold on, there's a couple questions there. David D'Angelo, everyone here is saying negative things or being disrespectful. Please stop. Don't be rude. Yeah, there's no reason to be. I don't get why you're being rude. I think the people that are making these comments and stuff are just very young and very immature, and they just think it's funny. They can get away with this because they're hiding in their mom's basement with Cheeto Dick, So whatever, just ignore them. Elma and Debbie are hacking him, and so is, where's Matthew? Matthew, you're back. I was just thinking about you. Hello, hi. Nice to see you again. I don't know why you didn't get a notification. You should have. Good evening, hi. Today's my birthday, Matthew. You'll have to try to catch up. Yeah, Matthew says he wished he would have gone off on her too. It was uncalled for. It was so disrespectful. It hurt my mom's feelings. She's 81. She doesn't need that stress, and I know I'm causing enough stress for her already, trying to have her accept transgender. I don't need my ex-wife, and this is my ex-first wife. It's been 20-something years since we were married. I've been married to another woman in between this, where she thinks she has the goal or the right to do this, and she's kind of a drunk, and nobody likes her. She's just a wicked person. She's not ugly, but her personality makes her just disgusting. Oh, she lives off of other people's misery. Believe it or not, she gets joy out of the fact that me and my daughter are separated now. She's tried to find a reason to break our love for each other up, but she never could. And then transgender was just the opening she's seen, and she's been using it against me ever since to put a wedge between me and my daughter. This is what kind of a person that woman is. She is just evil. If I could, without getting in trouble, I'd tell you all her name and her phone number and her just her home address, so you could just inundate her with freaking. But I can't do that. I'll get in trouble, so I'm not going to do that. But just know that there's evil people out there that are not kind. Oh, she makes me so mad. I'm sorry. I got lost in that one. At least you know your mental illness and weakness hurts your mom. Yes, I don't think it's mental illness. I don't think it's wickedness. I think I do have a mental, uh, I'm not going to say a problem, or I think my brain developed off, due to the estrogen that was put into my system when I was in the fetus. I think my brain developed a little bit. It was supposed to be happy to be a boy, but it wasn't because of the estrogen. I believe that it thought it was a girl, and it was kind of when I looked down and I really realized, because when I was 6 was the first time I asked God to please let me wake up a girl. And I didn't know what transgender was. I just knew I was in the wrong body, at 6 years old. But it would come in and out of my life, it'd fade in and fade out. It was just always there in the depths. And once I hit 50, and I started out dressing up in costumes, and Chris, a lot of people have been here for a while, knows that Chris has been with me for 10 years. And she'd say, how come every time you dress up in a costume, you dress up as a female? And it was kind of, she was scratching her head. She goes, I don't get that. And that's when it started to come out, and then one thing led to another. And then when I finally let it out of its box, it's like, my God, the weight off my shoulders was immense. And then coming up with the courage to tell everybody that knows me, that's known me as a man for 50 something years, that I want to be a girl. It was, wow, what you talk about, a tidal wave of bullshit. It was not easy. That's not an easy thing to say to people that have known you one way their whole life. My best friend, that evil woman, the one I told you said that to my mom, she told my best friend before I had a chance to. Can you believe that? So my best friend calls me up. This is the best friend I had since I was 15 years old. So we've known each other for 40 something years, 40 years and stuff. And she told him before I had a chance to. That's what kind of woman she is, because she thought that he would disown me. And I talked to him recently. He kind of removed himself from my life for a while, but he called me about a week ago and wants me to come up to his place and hang out with his wife and get to know me this way and stuff. And he's willing to, give it a go. And I was so ecstatic about that. I thought, thank you. That is really awesome of you. It just took him a little time to think about it, I think. So it's kind of cool. My best friend is willing to give me a chance and have me over to his place, and we'll sit down and we'll have some lunch. I'll spend the afternoon with him. I'll bring Chris with me, and I'm sure that everything will be fine. I'm sure that he's going to see that I'm the same person I was before. I just identify differently. And I think it's going to be cool. Okay, I'm glad you were able to get the medical care and help that you need to feel comfortable and confident in your skin. I'm getting there. This is every procedure that has. It started out with the estrogen, the HTR, hormone replacement therapy. It kind of made me start feeling a little more normal and a little more balanced. I feel a little more connected to my reality. There's no way I can put it. And I'm not trying to compete with natural born women. I cannot compete with them. They're beautiful. They're beautiful human beings. All I can do is try to be my best self and not try to embarrass women when I envy them so much. I'm not trying to do anything to embarrass them, or I'm not doing the proverbial blackface woman. I'm trying to represent myself in a respectable manner and not humiliate anybody or embarrass anybody. I'm hoping that some women are flattered that I admire them so much that I would like to, I'm jealous. I'm really jealous. It's your first to be whoever you want to be. Much love. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you very much. And I think it's insulting to women to be called cis women. I mean, isn't that like a pimple? Come on. How about natural born female? That would be a nice thing to say it, or, real female, because I'm not a female. I can be a woman. I can be a lady in my mind, but I cannot be a female. I can't reproduce. It's impossible for me to be a female. I can't reproduce, but I can be a lady. Or tomboy, if you like that. I don't mind that. Okay, Millie, I'm back. Okay, back. Okay, back. Where'd you go? It's pretty noticeable that you're getting there. You're looking great, Brooke. You're doing a great job. Santiago says, thank you. It's been a process. I mean, this is a lot of this is makeup. Learning how to apply makeup. Man, I look like Bozo the Clown when I first started going out because I didn't know about blending and colors and shading and contouring and finding your face structure and making it all work. But over time and 1,000 YouTube videos, I'm getting better at it. But thank you, I appreciate it. As a trans woman, do you believe you deserve to use the women's restroom? And what are your thoughts on children being taught in school and parents advocating for their kids changing transgender at an I'm gonna say an early age. I've been over this a few times. I'll say it again. Trans women do not belong in women's bathrooms if they have a penis. Period. Point blank. Hold it. Go to a gender neutral bathroom. Go home. But you don't belong in a women's bathroom. It's not fair. They don't belong in women's sports. It's not fair. You just don't belong there. Let's fight for a transgender category for people to do sports in. That would be great. Then they compete against other people that are, the same molecular build or whatever. And I do not believe that kids should be transitioning at all before they're 18 years old. No hormone blockers. I think that they can express themselves through clothing, through appearance, but I don't think doctors and stuff should be involved in children's transitioning before they're 18. Let them make their own decisions when they're mature enough to make them. And I don't think 18 is even mature enough, but at 18, at least they can get a tattoo. How can you say that a kid's old enough to change their gender when they're not even old enough to get a tattoo or a pack of cigarettes or to buy a beer? But you'll say that they can change. This is forever. You change a kid like that, that's it. They'll never know what it's like to experience sex as the person that they were born. I mean, how can you determine your sex before you've ever even had sex? They could be missing out on something great. They don't know yet. They're too young. They just don't know. Stop it. This is sick parents. These are not kids. These are sick parents that are pushing this agenda on their children or taking it and running too far. You ever think that little girls might want to be boys because boys get away with more when they're young? They see they can climb trees and throw rocks and chase each other around and play baseball. Maybe a girl just looks at that and goes, I want to be like that. And people tell them at school, well, you could be a boy, just say you're transgender. And they say, okay, I'm transgender. And they let them go play, but they don't mean it. You're going to take that child and have, hormones or testosterone pumped in? That's criminal. That's criminal. So, sorry, long answer. But I do not believe that children should transition before they're 18. Okay, just happened to pop in, and I love everything you're saying. What a beautiful, insightful soul. Thank you. Please subscribe. I mean, I do this. I try to do it twice a week, to where I talk about things. I would like to talk about some other important issues in the world, and I'd like to get people's opinions on certain things. Like this it's such an important presidential race, and people think just because I'm trans, I'm automatic Democrat. That's not true. Because I don't believe a lot of things. I don't know woke. What does woke culture mean? I don't understand that. What that means. What does it mean to be woke? you know, it's not about me. It's not about being trans. Trans is not being woke. I don't know what that's about. I don't get it. I don't get it. You've got a new subscriber here. Thank you, Trina. Thank you very much. Please hit the thumbs up and give me a subscription. It'll just sit there in your little subscription bar, and it won't bother anybody. It doesn't cost anything, but it could prove some points to me that personal people that are close to me that don't believe I can make it as a trans person. They think that I will fail and fall on my face and be humiliation, because I truly believe, with my family anyway, the reason they're refusing to accept me as transgender is because they're humiliated, because I embarrass them. And there's no way that they want anybody to know that their son or their dad is transgender, because it's just too embarrassing for them. And I think that's where their biggest fighting point is, that I just embarrass them, which is sad. But Debbie says people like and subscribe. You got to do what Debbie says. Oh, who is that? Erlyn. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name. Erynn. Says I subscribed. Thank you very much. That's awesome. I subscribed and liked. Says ULFR. Thank you. It really does. I just want to prove that I'm not a loser, I guess, to my parents. That people do accept me for who I am. People love me for who I am. And people are not embarrassed to say that they're my friend. My parents need to know that it's not embarrassing to have a trans person in your family. You should be proud of it, that you have somebody that's willing to take the abuse and still go on every day and present themselves in this manner. It's hard. You see in this chat room how much hate that I get. But I have people here that are protecting me great. And I did not know these people a few weeks ago, a month and a half ago. And I consider them now to be some of my best friends. So, and I've never met them personally, but just know to see them defend me the way they do is it touches my soul. It really does, and I appreciate it. I know that it's hard to change, but easy for others to say. Your family treats you that way because it's called tough love for you. Only good change is needed. My brother, he calls himself a minister, I debate that. He actually has access to kids and stuff, and I don't. He told me that I'm on the wrong path, and that I need to correct myself, and I'm having a gender identity, but that I am an abomination, basically, that I'm going against God. And I'm going judging. You're judging me. Why don't you try to get to know me? Why don't you ask a little bit? Why don't you try to educate yourself? And how can you honestly look at children are going to come to this person because they believe he's for the church and that he's going to have good wisdom, and they're going to express themselves as being transgender, and he's going to condemn them, and that could be very dangerous to do. You don't just automatically tell somebody they're on the wrong path. You need to know what's going on with them before you start throwing allegations. I'm 50-something years old, I can take it, but there's kids out there that can't. You need to really be careful what you do, brother, with your ministry, because you're on a pedestal for a lot of people, and you need to watch what you say, and you need to know, and you need to be educated, and you're not. So if you're watching this, you need to really, get out of your own box and look at things as a whole. You have a potential of really hurting some people, and that's just me preaching. If he's listening, probably not. I don't know. I asked him to come on here and debate me, and he wouldn't do it. Millie says Dixon said she's a whole team waiting to back her up. You betcha. Jesus judged no one. Jesus judges no one. God does. God will judge me when I go up there, and he's going to ask me, or he's going to look into my heart. Did I have empathy for people? Was I kind? And for the most part, yeah, there's times that I wasn't the nicest person, especially before I started transition. There's times that I was really a rotten son of a bitch. If you want to know the truth, that I was doing some pretty rotten things. I never intentionally hurt anybody, although I did bad things. I mean, I was running from the law. I was running from all kinds of things. I've been arrested 7 or 8 times. I never did any real time in jail because, I always could bail myself out or go to court or whatever to get myself out of it. But I've been arrested a lot. I've been in handcuffs a lot. Not as Brooke. As Brooke, I've never been in trouble. Never. It's the first time in my whole life that a cop got 2 things. Cops have been behind me, and I'm not worried. Not worried at all because I know I'm cool. I've been through 2 DUI checkpoints through the car, and I'm not worried because I don't drink. I don't do drugs anymore. I don't even smoke cigarettes because of this. I've changed my whole life because of this. And now I can drive through a DUI checkpoint and not worry. And I thought it was hilarious because I still had my ID with the man's picture of the cop, and he's just like, go on. So it was really neat to go through a DUI checkpoint and not sweat it. And I would not have been able to do that if I had not transitioned. Just so you know. So there's a lot of good that comes out of this too. I'm a better human being. Hey, Brooke, Millie says, just a question. Do you like the singer, Livingston? He's one of my favorites, and I have noticed that you've been using. Is that the one that sings? Uh, oh yeah, I've done a few of his songs. If you're talking about what is it? Oh, I can't think of the tune, but yeah, this a kid, a young kid. He's kind of got wild hair or whatever stuff. Yeah, his music is awesome. It's incredible. What a great new sound. What a great new vibe. Oh, I wish I could remember the main line of that. I'm drawing a blank. I'm doing a brain fart here. Are you not pleasing? Yosha has waited on your to answer his calling. Wait. Yosha, you recall. I understand that you're saying, but you do not know is what is right and wrong on Judgment Day when you stand before Him. And I think I've said this before. I will say it again. And I will only know when I die, but I truly believe that God has enough sense to not look in my pants to find out what kind of a person I was. I think God's going to look in my heart to find out what kind of a person I was. And if that's the case, I'm fine. I got a place in heaven. He's going to let me in. You cannot tell me that trans people can't go to heaven, because that's just ridiculous. That is, listen to that thought. That is ridiculous. You're transgender, you're going to go to hell. No, come on. People say, well, God doesn't make mistakes. I know He doesn't. He didn't make a mistake. He had me one way for the first part of my life, and He's going to have me this way for the second. This is His plan. I'm just going along for the ride. So there. Brooke, did you ever serve in the military? Asked Alma. I did not. My grandfather served in World War II, and he was one of the kindest, most loving, gentle giants I ever met. And before he died, his last words to me were right before he died were, he says to me, excuse me, he said, boy, was I a good man. That's what my grandfather said right before he died. He had been awarded medals for his valor. He drove ambulance in World War II right on the front line. I mean, this is an amazing human being, and all he wanted to know on his deathbed was he a good person? Did he do a good job? I mean, come on. That's the kind of character that we're missing solely in our thing. They were truly the greatest generation, as my grandparents. I'm not Gen X. I missed Gen X by 1 month. Had I been born a month later, I would be Gen X. I am the very last tail end of the baby boomers. I identify more with the Gen X than I do with the baby boomers. But yeah, technically I'm a baby boomer. 1964, I was born in July of 1964. So I was the last of the baby boomers, yeah, so there you go. I don't have any money. Baby boomers are supposed to have all this money. I don't have any money. I'm poor. Look at Elma and them. They're just destroying people here. Debbie, you go, Debbie. Matthew hasn't even started in on the people that I know about. Okay, it says, hello, I'm new here. How are you? It says Kevin Reyes. I'm doing great, Kevin. Thank you. I'm glad. Thanks for joining us. If you would like to, please subscribe. It helps the channel out. If you have a question of what's going on here, what we're all about, please feel free to ask me or ask Debbie or Elma or Trains and Trucks or anybody else in the chat, and they can fill you in if you like, or I can fill you in. It's up to you. Throw a question out, and I'll be glad to answer it. Brooke, you are a gem that shines bright and is priceless. I'm getting choked up here. And to a simple girl, Alma and Debbie, you are all the sweet and the hearts made of gold. Thank you for all your kindness. They are, aren't they? Isn't Debbie and Alma just the best? I mean, someday I hope to meet you two in person. Someday I hope to meet you two in person so I can give you both the biggest hug ever, because you have changed my life. Just the two of you. Not to mention Trains and Trucks and the other regulars that come here every time I come on. They've changed my life. They've given me the courage to keep going. And the people that are here that have hate, you have your opinion. I'm not saying that people that disagree with what I'm doing don't have the right to have an opinion, because you do. And I respect your opinion. Believe me, I do. I'm not a typical trans person who's going to demand that you think of me as a woman. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's not, I'm not here to cram anything down your throat other than the fact that I'm just a normal person with some common sense. I believe in most of the same things that everybody else does. And I just, trying to show you that just because we're transgender doesn't mean we're freaking whacked hards. And like that one letter that I read earlier today, that we're not going to say batshit crazy things because I don't think those. I think that a lot of what's going on with the community trying to force people to accept us is wrong. Stop trying to force it on people. Let it settle in. Let people get used to it. And then it'll be okay. But you're force feeding it. You're trying to transition children, and people are going to protect the kids. Stop doing that, because every time they put something on TV about how a school just said this about a kid or a doctor transitions some young kids, the hate comes back on me. But I disagree with what they're doing. They need to leave kids alone. You got to understand, I'm with you. Leave kids alone. They don't. This is not for children. This is fucked up parents that are making their kids do this. This is fucked up parents that should be in jail for having their kids messed up like that. Let them wait till they're 18 when they can make their own decisions. This is bullshit. And I know that young trans people are going to hate me for saying this. I had one transgender youth send me an email saying, you want us all to wait so that we're as ugly as you are. That we wait so long that we come out as ugly as you do. And that was kind of hurtful, but I understand. But I said to that person, I said, because of your response proves my point that you're not mature enough to be making those decisions. So there you go. That's my opinion. Storm Lee says you have a beautiful heart and deserve the utmost respect, always. I would also read negative comments. I could, but Debbie and Elma are just whacking them off. So I'm just reading what's up. And if you have a negative comment, or Debbie or Elma, if you want to let one through, I'd be more than happy to comment on it. But if you don't want to, then keep nailing them. Screw them. Oh, you're welcome, Elma. You guys you're awesome. I have a serious question, says Riley. Please, Riley, present your serious question and I will give you the best answer I can. Please, I'm all ears. I will look for your question. There is a delay on what I see and what I say to you people. So if you ask a question, just hang in for a couple minutes and we should catch up. Okay? So go ahead, Riley. It's your breathe aid today, no crap today. Exactly. Consecutive descendant. It's so hard to say. This person here, the congenitive descendant. Oh my gosh, that is such a mouthful. Has been helping me through this hard time for the past 2 days, with her emails and her messages and listening to me whine like a little baby. Has helped me get through this hard time. And I can't say enough how thankful I am. Okay, YouTube Z Prow. You're a human being and there is nothing wrong with who you are. But in his eyes, it won't save you from being thrown into the lake of fire. Depart from me. I'm not going to be thrown into a lake of fire. I mean, come on. Do you still believe that gays are going to be, condemned from heaven because they're gay? Do you think that gay people can't marry? Marriage is between two people. It doesn't have to be man. It's about love. Marriage is about love, and marriage is very hard. So who cares? How does it affect you? You're not God. You can't tell me what God says. God doesn't talk to you directly and say, all trans people are going to go to hell and the flame and burn of fire. Come on, that's ridiculous. If that's the case, then God is not living up to his own word, because he said that he will accept everybody. Everybody. That means me too. Sorry to be a buzzkill. Okay, Riley says, why did you change from a boy to a girl? Honestly, no hate, but why did you change? Because when I was young, I had estrogen that was flowing through my system. You're fed through your mother's blood through the umbilical cord. So everything that a mother puts in her body goes through the babies. And my mom took birth control pills, so the estrogen that she was taking was going into my body every single day of my development. Therefore, my brain, which comes to some critical points in your brain where testosterone and estrogen plays a huge part in how you develop for the next step. And the last one is the one that kind of determines how you feel about your gender. And estrogen and testosterone play a huge role in that. Well, of course I had testosterone, but I've always had extremely low testosterone. and the estrogen that was being pumped in me was very strong estrogen. Therefore, my brain believed that I was female. My body just developed as it was programmed from the beginning. So therefore, there's your disconnect. That's why I believe that I'm a woman. That's the best explanation I can give you. I don't have any scientific thing to back this up. I have talked to people that study this. I've talked to scientists that are in the process of trying to figure out if there is a way of determining transgender before kids are born, if there's a sign and everything. So, and they say that they really don't have the proof to back that up yet. But they also told me it makes a lot of sense that they can't see that the estrogen would have some kind of effect on me somehow, some way. And there's other effects too that are not very flattering that could have on people, like the cognitive ability to plan for the future and stuff, which has been kind of hard for me. I've always been a now person. But anyway, that's the best answer I can give you. I hope that satisfies your answer there, Riley. It's the best I could do. Hopefully that was acceptable. Do you have super chat? No, I don't. I haven't qualified for super chat yet. That's how small my channel is. I'm still very, very small. That's why I need subscribers and likes and everything, so I can subscribe to super chat, because that way people, I guess, I'm not sure how it really works, but I guess with super chat people can pay like $1 or something, and then their questions will be super highlighted. I guess, I don't know, and then it helps me out money wise. I don't know, but no, I don't have super chat yet. I'm probably you're supposed to have 3,000 watch hours or something, and I'm like 2,033 watch hours. So I'm getting there. I'll get there probably within the next 2-3 weeks, maybe a month. But it helps if you subscribe to the channel, and if you thumbs up. If you like it, then the algorithm, whatever it is, throws my face out there for more people to come and gawk at me. So please don't take this the wrong way. However, my heart breaks for you. So glad that you have a strength in you to be who you want. It's hard. It's the strength wanes. If it wasn't for people like the support I get in this chat group here, I don't know if I could continue. I really don't. And then the thought of going backwards is like death. I'd rather just curl up and fade away than go back, because I can't. I was so miserable before it. Just like, that'd be like me taking happiness and throwing it away to go back and be miserable. I just can't do that. I mean, I just can't. I won't. For anybody, not even my children, not even my mother, as much as it pains me. Part of me just wants to just give it all up so we can go back to being this loving family, but then I'm going to have resentments towards them, and it's not going to work, because this is out of the bag. You can't put the genie back in the bottle, and I'm happy. And I'm not going to be happy if I stop doing what I'm doing, so I'm going to keep going. I guess I'm going to be a little bit selfish. And just keep going and hope that they come along and they accept me for who I am eventually. That's all I can do. Mr. Thanks. You too. I don't know, but I'm sure that I will sent straight to hell. I will never be a good person. I have my own reasons why. Well, you got some demons, brother. So did I. I have done some. If I go to hell, it's not going to be for what I did as Brooke. Trust me. It would be for what I did as the person I was before. Because I did some shit there that was wrong. I mean, I broke the law a lot. I never hurt anybody. Don't get me wrong. I've never intentionally hurt anybody. And as a man, I'd never hit a woman in my life, and I never would. I've never laid a hand on a woman in my life, ever. In anger, never. Not once. Because I watched my mom get abused when I was a boy, a little boy, and I made a vow to myself that I would never raise a hand to a woman in anger, and I never have. So, I mean, but I have hurt people with my mouth. I've said some things that are despicable, and I regret them. And I've went back in my past, and I've apologized for things that I've done, or said, I should say, because scars from words sometimes never heal, and I realize that. And when you love somebody and you know them well, you know exactly what to say. And I've used that as weaponized, and I'm admitting it. And I'm not proud of it. You know, I'm ashamed of some of the things that I've said. You know, I had such self-loathing that I just wanted to lash out at everybody around me. And unfortunately, some people were victims of my terrible mouth. I have a gift of insulting people, and I refuse to let that out anymore. And I started to do that a little bit this weekend when my ex-wife got me so infuriated that I just unleashed, this fury of hate, because it was my mom. She insulted my mother, and that's just I'm never going to let that slide. Never. You don't tell my mom, hey lady, get your shit together. She's 81 years old. Who the fuck? You show my mother respect. She deserves respect. All women deserve respect. Period. That's not cool. So anyway, I'll stop. Okay. Worship yourself, nothing outside of you. That's kind of what that thing a little message that I sent earlier. Sent me where I'm in heaven now. I don't know what that means. Worship yourself. Okay. Worship is just living in your truth, in truth and love. This is my truth, people. This is finally my brain is taking the position of controlling what the rest of me does. Before it was just I was doing what I was supposed to do. I was doing what people expected me to do, and I was miserable, just miserable. And I've had a decent normal life. I was a Costco manager. Yep, Costco wholesale. I was a manager for Costco wholesale for 21 years. 21 years. I worked in 5 different stores in 2 countries for Costco. Great company, loved them to death. But just to show you, I had a normal life. I was working at Costco when 9/11 happened. I was manager of the food side of the building. That's the whole right hand side when 9/11 happened. So I think I started at Costco in 1989, and I was there for 21 years. So I've had quite a few careers, and then on the side, I learned construction from my dad, and that's kind of what I do now. But I've had normal life, just. I will tell you, as a manager of Costco, I bought some women's garments, and I said they were for my wife, and they weren't. They were for me. little confession right there. Because I knew nobody would know. By the time I get home, I just put them away. That was my little thing, because I knew inside what I wanted to be. I was just too scared to let it out. I was too afraid. I did tell, even though my wives were ex, I told them both that I was transgender. Even though one of them I don't talk to anymore, but I felt she had the right to know, because maybe it would answer some questions about our marriage, maybe why it didn't work, maybe why we had some problems. I took a lot of the responsibility on my own shoulders that maybe I didn't know if it had something to do with it, but I'm sure it did, if nothing, just subconsciously. So I informed them both, and one of them is just a rotten bitch, and the other one just never responded. But I felt the need that they deserved to know, so I told them. Be miserable now to be rewarded in the afterlife. If you don't believe that it's okay, I don't hope I see you. That's okay, but I hope I see you there. You'll see me in heaven, for sure. I'm going to be guardian angels for all these young people here that are supporting me, because I know I'm way younger than most of the people that are even, supporting me, that have become my friends. I did a lot of damage to my body with drugs and shit when I was younger, so I know I'm not going to live a super long life. I think if I make 70 or 75, I'm probably doing really well. I really tortured my body when I was young. And I quit, but I don't know if I quit soon enough. Although all my tests today were good. They said my heart was strong. They did the EKG thing, and they said everything was going good. And they've done all the blood work, and I don't take any pills. I don't even take aspirin. I take no medicines except for the hormones that I take and the testosterone blocker. Other than that, I don't take medicine. I don't take pain pills. I don't take any of that shit. Like I said, I quit smoking, so they said that my internal organs all seem to be working pretty good. They said I was kind of borderline diabetic at one point, but I ate a whole can of pineapples before I had the blood test, so I think that made a difference. But I do like sweets. I do like sweets a lot. Too much. So I'm trying to curb that appetite. And I need to lose weight because I want to have more of a girly figure instead of this big, bulky guy figure. That'll come after my bottom surgery. I'm so excited. The bottom surgery literally is in less than 3 weeks. So there's going to come a time where I won't be on here for at least a full week, but I will come on right before I go in for surgery, and I will come on right after I get home. I promise. So Toxic says, I hate drugs like cocaine. I just love how it smells. Oh, okay. Interesting. Your hate trolls are mild compared to what Tejo Trish gets. I don't know who Tejo Trish is. I think I might know who that is. I think I've seen that person before. Um, all I can say is if you're transgender and you're on this, please represent yourself with respect and dignity because you are putting out there and you don't just represent yourself, you're representing every other trans person that's out there as well. So please try to do your, I don't know the person, I'm sure that they do. Represent yourself with dignity. Get some good people on your side like Debbie and Elma that can control your chat a little bit and then just speak your truth. Have common sense. Don't force yourself down anybody's throat because it's not right. If they don't accept you, it's okay. You you have to accept the fact that people are not going to agree with you, and that's okay. It really is. Just hear me out. Know that I speak with common sense. I'm not trying to change anybody, but it's okay if people don't accept you because people are not going to accept me for who I am. It's okay. I have plenty of people that do. Okay, Tay, who Trish is trans and has a channel. I guess I'm going to need to check this person out or introduce myself to this person and see if we can't, have some off-camera talk and kind of pick her brain, let her pick my brain a little bit, and see where we agree and or disagree. A lot of trans people think that the agenda that's trying to be passed is perfectly okay. They think that they deserve just so much special treatment because they're trans, and I disagree with that. I don't think you deserve any special treatment. You need to put in your time. Look what the gays and the lesbian had to put up with for years. I remember, because I was born in the 60s, early 60s. I remember what they went through in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. It was hard, especially when the AIDS epidemic came out. Gay people had a hell of a time. They've come a long way and they've fought hard to have the respect that they have now. And trans people seem to think that they get to just drop in and just take advantage. But no, 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 no. We have to earn our stripes here, people. We have to earn the respect of the people because as long as we keep saying that we're going to change kids and stuff, they're never going to accept us ever. You need to start thinking with your head and stop putting yourself on this pedestal way up here because you don't belong there. Bring it back down to earth. Stop force feeding yourself on people, and we'll be more accepted. Sorry, I rant about that shit all the time. Good night, all. And good night. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you later. I'll be poking at you during the week and sending you messages and stuff. Please do the same because I really appreciate everything you've done for me. Thank you very much, and have a great night. Have a great, beautiful night. You're a beautiful human being. You are. You're a tomboy too. And I like that. I like tomboys. I'm dropping a like and I'm out of here. Thank you, Toxic. It's not too late to change for God. Take care. I understand your point and I understand and I appreciate it and I respect your opinion. I think God's going to be okay with me in the long run. But I appreciate the like. That's great. If you guys, hit the like and hit the subscribe button, come back and see me again. I'll be on probably in another 3 or 4 days. And every day that clicks by is another day closer to me becoming more whole as a human being. So it's kind of scary as hell, though. Think about that. One of these days I'm going to be on here and be like, okay, well, tomorrow I'm going to have my surgery and then I'll see you again. And I'll just be like, whoa, it's going to be really trippy. You are left. Yes, it's my birthday today. Or it was. I don't know. If it's past midnight. It's not no more. Happy birthday. Godspeed. Says Toxic. Thank your TikTok. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It really means the world to me. URL. I'm in California. I'm in California as well. It's really hot today too. It was like 100-something degrees, and it's really hot in this little room that I'm in because I turned off the air conditioner because it makes so much noise. But it's really hot. And it feels like I've been going for quite a while. So I'm going to start wrapping this up here really soon. My throat is starting to get a little dry and hoarse. And I do have to go work in the morning. And it's going to be hotter than crap tomorrow. So it's going to be a miserable day. You know what makeup does in 110-degree weather? It doesn't look pretty. Yeah. So anyway, common sense, trans people don't bother me. Gays, etc. I don't like what the trend has had on our kids. Yeah, They're brainwashing children into thinking, because did they ever think that, you know how kids they'll do bad things just to get attention? You know, they'll be rotten little turds just to get their parents' attention. This is a way of getting attention from a lot of people. I think a lot of kids are using this as an attention grab, and these crazy parents are just go. I mean, it's okay if a kid comes up to you and they're 10, they say, "I'm transgender." You can say, "Wonderful, we accept you and love you for who you are," but you're not going to the doctor. You can wear your clothes, you can do your hair, whatever you want, but you're not going to the doctor. Do that route. Tell them that. I hope to someday be able to say that there's a law that says you can't, because I'm going to try to get a law going, at least present one, that to the California governor, wherever you put a law, I'm going to just have to figure all that out, and put it on the books that says you cannot touch children until they're 18. They must be able to make their own decisions. That's a common sense law. I'm going to try to get it passed. We'll see what happens. And any support I can get from people in here will help, because I'm going to need a whole shitload of signatures. I know that. But I'll let you guys know as I get closer to that. So, having said that, I'm going to end with my normal thing, saying that I don't think trans women belong in women's bathrooms unless they've had a total sex change, complete. If you have a penis, stay out of women's bathrooms. If you have a penis, stay out of a women's locker room. Nobody wants to shower next to you with a penis if they're girls. Don't you get that? Why would you even not know that that's kind of scary to them? Or it's just unacceptable. Regardless of how you identify, use your common sense, and leave the kids alone. What else? Yeah, trans women do not belong in women's sports. Let's as a trans person, let's do this. Let's fight for our own category rather than taking something away from the girls that have been working hard for their category. Let's find our own. Let's find a middle. Let's find a trans category, and let's do it that way rather than taking some thunder away from kids that may have worked their whole lives to get to be that college varsity women's swimmer or whatever, and some trans person comes along and just knocks them out of their spot. That's not fair. That's not right. It shouldn't happen. So I'm going to say goodnight. I'm going to say thank you to the people that help me every single time I come on here, and I appreciate it. Trains and Trucks, Alma, the lady who just left her, I can't say her name. It's so long. It's so complicated. She has a name. I know her other name, but I'm not going to put it on her. She hasn't given me permission. Debbie, first in, last out, every time. I love you guys. I love you guys to death, and I love everything that you do for me. Matthew, and all the repeat people that come back, please. I know that I've had like 6,000 people that have come back to watch this, but I only have 1,000 subscribers. So if you come back or you find anything that I say that's halfway worth a sense, I will listen to. If you have opinions and you want to voice them, I will listen to those. Subscribe and like. It helps me, and I want to prove my dad wrong. Okay, so anyway, yes, speak for it, girl. Thank you, Mr. Thanks. Male or female, I've already touched on all this. If you want to know how I feel about people in sports and stuff, just rewatch this. I'm gonna put it as public as soon as we're done here. I'm going to bed. I'm gonna spend the rest of my birthday with my eyes closed because I'm tired, and it's been a very, very emotional journey over the last 48 hours. But thank you guys for picking me up out of this thing. And if somebody is a regular that I forgot, I apologize. I appreciate every one of you. Believe me, I think about you all the time. If you look at the comments, I try to respond to every single comment that's made, good or bad. I try to respond to them all. So thank you very much. I'm out. I'm going to bed. Thank you for saving my birthday. I really appreciate it. 60 years old. All right. Good night, everybody.